Yo, what's up, y'all? So this one's gonna be dope, man. I went to Alaska, man, and this right here was real special for me because if anybody been following my story, they know that my grandfather been to 48 states and he passed away. The two states he haven't been to was Hawaii and Alaska. So as I was nearing the end of my journey, I realized like, hey, let me go to Alaska now so I could basically, feel like I took a step further in completing his journey. I basically went there in the summertime. So I went there in July. I went to Anchorage, Alaska. So I remember just, landing in the airport and they had like this big moose and everything like that, you know what I mean, inside the airport. And some other animals too, like stuffed animals or whatever. And I took pictures, man. It was pretty dope, man. I remember seeing that and just thinking like, wow, it just, with symbols and of Alaska, man. So I just remember riding around and seeing all these dope ass sights, like these mountains and everything, and it was dope, man. And for those who don't know, Alaska go through 2 different seasons to where it's 22 hours of sunlight during 6 months of the year, and then the next 6 months is 22 hours of darkness. So I was there during the sunlight portion, which it was crazy, man. I remember, it was 1 a.m. and, it was still light outside. Like 10 o'clock at night, it was still bright outside, And I went to sleep and I actually slept during the 2 hours, so I didn't get a chance to see, it get dark. But I remember I went, ate some food, and yeah, man, it was pretty good, man. I had some good food, man. And I just remember I was driving and I seen a bunch of big moose crossing the street. And it was dope because when I went to Vermont and I did that, trip over there with New Hampshire, I remember hoping to see moose and I didn't get a chance to see them. So I came to Alaska and actually got a chance to see the moose, man. So it was pretty good, man. But yeah, I did that. I also went to Alaskan Native American Museum, and it was pretty dope, man. I learned a lot of stuff, man. The Alaskans, they was really smart, man. I think from what they said at the tour, the natives from this land was the first people to ever try brain surgery, and they was able to, successfully drill a hole into people's heads and drain out, pressure from, whether it was an injury or whatever. And I remember them saying something about they was on a boat and they used to hunt whales. And sometime while they was out there, I guess pressure built up in the head or something like that. So they had to do like some kind of brain surgery. They was able to do it while you were asleep with no, anesthetics and nothing like that. And they was able to do it successfully, relieve the pressure out your head and pat you back up, and everything was fine. But they were so smart, man. They knew different herbs and plants and stuff to mix together to make poisonous darts. And they used to stab the whales in their tail, and they would know exactly how much time they had before they had to cut off the tail, to paralyze basically the whale. And they would take the whale, eat the meat, I guess, and, use different things. You know what I'm saying? So it was dope, man. And another thing, they took us inside these big teepees or whatever we call it. But basically the houses that they lived in, and they just showed you, like, where like the royalty, would stay at inside this house, and where different members, the tribes would stay at and stuff like that. And they also told us that in the wintertime, they would basically stash their food up in a different location. And they basically was just showing us that they would put wolf blood on it to, keep the bears and stuff away. Also learned that it gets 80 degrees below zero out there. Yeah, it gets real cold. So, when the winter's approaching, they have to, get their food and bundle up. Another thing I learned out there was that, it's a lot of different stuff, man. A lot of different stuff, man. They was really smart people. It's just a lot of stuff, man. Like the buildings they made was dope. Like the boats and everything they made, and the different artwork and everything that they had in this museum was really dope, man. Oh yeah, I learned that polar bears actually hunt humans, and it's the only species in the world that actually hunt humans, and they'll smell you from miles away, and they'll come to, eat humans and stuff like that. So they had to basically, shield themselves from that as well. But yeah, man, I did that, and then we went to the zoo. So went to the zoo and actually got a chance to see a polar bear. I got a chance to see a polar bear, and I actually got a chance to see grizzly bears. Now, I remember looking over the rail and thinking, like, man, this is a massive animal. Like, you picture bears, but in your head you always some kind of, picture it, being small in a sense. Like, it's big, but you can't really picture it in person. You know what I mean? Like, you just picture this colorly, furry thing, but now in person it's this big, gigantic animal, and I could see, how it could be terrifying running into that up in the wild, man. And they got these big, massive claws, and they was fighting with each other inside the cage, or play fighting or whatever. But yeah, man, it was crazy, man. So I seen that. I remember seeing a wolf. They had a exhibit with some wolves and everything. And yeah, it was dope, man, seeing all these different animals, man. And then I got something to eat. So, salmon is one of the things they got out there, man. It's one of the things, that's famous out there. We went to this restaurant and ate some salmon. The salmon, they had this blueberry sauce that went on it. Yo, it was nothing like I ever taste, man. Nothing like I ever taste before. So I remember eating that, and then when I went to this souvenir shop, I remember they had the blueberry sauce there, and I bought it. And the messed up thing is when I got home, all of it spilled out my bag, man. I was mad about that. But yeah, if anybody go there, man, pick up a bottle of that, man. Yeah, But yeah, I did that. Also, they have this other tourist attraction where it's like a man lift. It take you all the way to the top of this mountain, and you get a chance to just look around at this amazing sight. So I was looking around. It was foggy, and the fog was right there. And we was able to take pictures and stuff like that. And along the side of the mountain, we seen some people hiking, man. Like, they was hiking up the mountain, which is crazy. I wouldn't want to do that, But yeah, basically it was called a tram. Yeah, I basically did that. I took the tram, man. But yeah, this trip right here was dope, man. And I also I made it a multiple state trip, man. So from Alaska, I drove down to Salt Lake City, Utah. And I remember it was after COVID, so that's probably why I was deserted, but it was nothing around, man. It was nothing around, like the streets was quiet, man. But, I went there, went to the, Utah Jazz Stadium, took pictures in the middle of the street and everything like that. And I just had a good time, man. I had a good time out there, ate some good food out there as well, man. And then, one of the main dope parts of this trip was I went to a gun range, man. Went to a shooting range. They had a Tommy gun, like the ones Al Capone and them had. But they didn't let me shoot it because, I didn't know at the time, due to COVID, they had a restriction on how long you could stay there. So I actually stayed there for an hour, and then when it was my time to shoot the Tommy gun, they told me that time was up, and, due to COVID, I had to leave. I was pretty upset about that, man, because I knew I wouldn't probably get a chance to shoot that gun again. But, I shot some long rifles, some handguns and stuff like that, and I had a dope time, man. It was good to be able to get out, during COVID and, see the world still and travel and everything and, have a good time. Also, I went to this famous restaurant called the Red Iguana. They serve like Mexican food. So they came with these different Mexican dishes and these different sauce that go with it, and it was pretty good, man. I liked it, man. I definitely would recommend people going there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I did that, and then I just had a good time there, man. So that basically was about it, man. I did that, and then I went back home. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if anybody want to, you could definitely go there and go to those states. Oh yeah, also I drove up to Idaho. So Idaho is not that far from Salt Lake City. I went to Idaho Falls, and again, there was nothing there to do. I just drove there, got something to eat, and that basically was about it. I remember when I was driving there, it was nothing but open space and open land. And it was so dope because it's like every state I go to looked totally different from the next, you know what I'm saying, or the last. And it's just always amazing to, to drive and look out the window and sightsee, you know what I'm saying? It was really dope, man. So, yeah, man, I had a good time there, man. If anybody want to go there, try to do those three together if you could, and it'll be really dope, man. All right, peace. So, I want to add one thing to the story. So while I was out there, I had went to this mall, and basically it was a nice size mall. The one thing I want to point out is, walking around, seeing what looks like Native Americans, from how you see them in textbooks and things like that. It was a cool thing. And everybody was super friendly. I mean, the vibe was dope. It wasn't any mean mugging. You're walking around, people was giving me numerous compliments on my hair
and stuff like that. And it was a different world from New York. It's like, back in New York, people is, mean and stuff like that. But over there, it was a complete opposite, man. For real. Oh yeah, and contrary to what people believe, igloos aren't a thing of Alaska. It's more of the Arctic areas of Canada and Greenland, where they come from. Yeah, that was something that was surprising to me. I always thought that they come from Alaska, but yeah, they're not really from Alaska. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, and enjoy. Also, follow me on Instagram at FlyKing, FLYYYKING. Peace.